already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Skye Squad, we are back in the building, and of course, we're talking about Married to Medicine. Okay, this is season 11, episode 9. It's called From the White House to Key West. Quite literally, Phaedra takes the next step with her date from the sweet and savory event. Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Simone travel to the White House to meet former VP Kamala Harris for a historic conference on women's health. All right. So, of course, we are back to our favorite photo of the season. We're going to be discussing Married to Medicine. And I wanted to, listen, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. If you're looking for hit and quit it reviews, this is not me. I don't do that. I am going to give you conversation, in-depth discussion. And so just a disclaimer at the start of this. Also, a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you guys are following me on the Snapchat. If you guys watched my video earlier, recapping Potomac, you will know why I tell you to follow and hop yourself on the Snapchat. Okay. With that being said, make sure you guys do that. Also, click the links in the description down below. Okay. We have, of course, the book series, The Wickedest Wives. You guys can order that on Amazon. We're going to figure out some other locations to also put that book. Okay. How about that? And then also too, leave us a review, while we're still there, leave us a review. And then of course we have our travel ebook. For those of you guys who are interested in travel, tomorrow's a big day for travel, Tuesday. I will be on Good Day DC to actually promote some travel excursions and all types of travel tea. This will be at 11:15 a.m. I will be doing a segment on Fox 5's Like It or Not. I meant Like It or Not Good Day DC, for those of you guys who are interested. And of course, we have our breakthrough mentoring sessions. There will be slots open. I will open up a couple of slots tonight for the rest of this week because I will be doing some traveling tomorrow as well. And of course, you guys can also tap into our Zanzibar trip that we have going on. With that being said, let's get into the episode. If I had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 9. I kind of enjoyed this episode. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of enjoyed this episode. For me, I think there was some excitement of it all with them going to the White House. And I feel like that's what's maybe missing with a lot of what we're seeing on reality TV nowadays. I mean, a lot of shows are given mediocre. And what I say mediocre, I mean, and I know this is going to sound really, really bad, but I am looking to see I still want to see luxury lifestyle. I still want to see travel. I want to see the cast do some sexy things, right? From specific shows. So when I'm looking at shows on Bravo, I think because of the brand, I want to see, of course, drama, but I also want to see some luxury. So for me, when I get an episode where there's actually 2 trips, I'm kind of excited about that, right? The fact that Dr. Jackie is taking Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone to the White House, I think it's a nice follow-up from her conversation, her live with with the VP. Well, oh God, y'all know what I mean. Anyway, but I also think that it would have been a great way for Dr. Jackie to do a follow-up touch-up on the big, incident that she had last year. The only person that really touched on that this season was Phaedra. And even though she had briefly touched on it at the reunion, I do feel like there could have been something stated to go along with the work that she is doing. Because I want to be, also very real. While I think she said something messed up, I do think that she does a lot of work in the space. And I think she's excited about the work that she does in the space. So I think that briefly touching on it would have gone a long way towards, just the goodwill of ensuring people that she is, really about that work. And I don't know. I guess I just feel like it's something real that in her life that we had just kind of glossed over. And it's interesting to me that, you know, I don't know. I just feel like with Dr. Jackie, I personally understand her role on the show, but I also feel like, it feels more like Dr. Jackie is actually married to medicine more so than married to Curtis. And I know that's probably not her real, I mean, her real everyday life, but I guess I just don't feel like we really get the meat and potatoes of her actual real life. But again, I guess because we only have 42 minutes in an episode, maybe that's all we are going to get. Especially after they had a tumultuous season for themselves, a few seasons ago. So, I mean, maybe it's too much to ask at this point. Or maybe listen, I applaud the work and I applaud this trip because I like seeing these doctors, do fabulous things. But again, I've come to expect, I want to see more fabulosity on these shows across the board. I just do. And am I wrong for that? Is it just me that just wants that? I'm yes, give me drama, but at times, if the drama feels redundant and there's no fabulosity to go and coincide with it, like we want to see some lifestyles of the rich and famous. I don't want to see lifestyles of the regular. Like, I don't know. And to be quite honest with you, when I lived in Miami, I used to ask people to take me to Key West all the time. And everybody would be, listen, this is no disrespect to Key West. I have never been there, so I don't know. All I know is that the people that I would ask would be like, do you really want to go to Key West? And they would all look at me like, ain't nothing to do there. Like, so it's the shock and awe of it all for me. But of course, I've never been there, so I can't really say. What I can say though is that, I mean, I'm gonna need y'all. Can y'all please take these people to Africa next season? Like, as much as Phaedra and Portia and all of these people be over there, and Yandy and whatnot, and I know I'm talking different shows. Uh, Truth be told, Atlanta need to go back to Africa next season. Okay, for as much as the people hang out there. And listen, I'm not hating because I love it. We got 2 trips to Africa coming up this year. Cape Town has been rescheduled. We will be announcing that tomorrow, and then Zanzibar in September. So to be honest with you, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, for as much time as these people spend in Africa, you would think that they would take some cash trips there. I don't know what y'all doing with this Married to Medicine money, but y'all need to divvy up them coins and get these people over to the Africa so we can really see some fabulosity on a cash trip. All right. This Key West thing is blowing my mind. Okay. Blowing my mind. Like, y'all might as well have just went down the street to the lake. I mean, what is the lake in Georgia? I don't know. Just go y'all could have done that on the lake. Y'all could have done that on that same lake that Mia took them girls to on the mid-season cash trip on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Might as well just use that same lake house 2 for 1 special and call it a day. Because this Key West thing is not given. It's not given. I just left the White House. Okay, it's really not. And this is no disrespect to people who love Key West. I don't know what's there, but from what I've been told and from the experience that people have led me to believe, it just don't feel like it's that fabulous to me. But I'm just complaining right now, so let me not spiral. This face on the screen is how I feel about this trip. So the other thing in this episode, let me see. Outside of that, everybody's preparing for the cash trip. Toya, we see a scene with Toya and Eugene talking to, the two kids about dating and whatnot. And, I absolutely love that. Like, one of her sons, like, I don't feel like going to this dance. And Toya's like, well, going to the dance will make you more, keep your popular standing. And I'm like, I don't think you know these kids today. These kids today not like the kids yesterday. But I respect the fact that he don't want to go. Like, why? Why am I going to that? I'm not gonna be bothered with that. Ain't no money in that. Anyway, shout out to Toya and Eugene. They just got a new house. Did y'all see that online? Shout out to them. I ain't mad at it. Get as many houses as you want. Okay. Get houses, get Birkins. I mean, that's at least fabulous. Somebody's got to do something fabulous on there. So why not her? So anyway, back to the fabulosity that is Key West. After the White House visit, everybody, Dr. Jackie takes the girls, and Phaedra has also gone on a date with is it Shake? I don't know. I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong, so I'm just not gonna say the man's name again. But what I do know is, I mean, it's given, it's given it's giving dating show. Okay. Like, I don't even believe those, to be quite honest with you. So I mean, it's given here for a good time, not a long time. Okay. That's really what it's given. Because unless she take that man from Married to Medicine to Real Housewives of Atlanta, then I don't know if I'm gonna believe it or not. But he looked like he ready for the ride, so I think he might come on over to the next show. So if he is, then let's continue to move with it. All right. Sweet Tea, Dr. G. Dr. G don't want to go on this trip. He don't want to be around Quad. And at the end of the day, I'm sure Quad don't want to be around him. So it's a mutual don't want to be around each other. But because they all got to be around each other, everybody got to get paid. They all gonna go on the trip. Quad, has a talk with her man, and she wants to know if it's going to affect him any, that that somebody may possibly be messy and bring up some old stuff with Dr. G. He's like, no, I'm not worried about it. Okay, we'll see. The nuts and bolts of this episode is really that, they arrive to Key West, and for the most part, everything seems rather nice, right? In terms of everybody getting along. I love seeing plane footage. Thank you, Married to Medicine producers, for giving me plane footage that you can actually see the people talking. Usually it's some blurry cell phone footage that's got a little haze over it that I can't see, like it was filmed with an iPhone 10. And so this one was at least filmed with an iPhone with the 16. It might have been filmed with a Galaxy for all I know, because it was crystal clear. So we get to the Key West, and we see Dr. Heavenly greet Sweet Tea. And I'm like, thank you, God. I cannot take any more of the two of them going at it again. Thank God Dr. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly rolled around on the floor together, because Lord knows I cannot take any more of them again and again and again. And the reason why I say this is because I oftentimes feel like when we're watching the show, we're left to piece together much of what actually happened via Dr. Heavenly's YouTube page and Sweet Tea's YouTube page. Now, again, if I got to piece together everything from the YouTube pages, then I mean, what we really doing? And I understand that, and what that also tells us is that there are things that happen in the episodes that really aren't that clear, that have to be further explained. Now, granted, having the YouTube channels, to me, every reality TV show personality should have one. Well, maybe not every person. Like, because here's the thing, you gotta like talking, and you gotta be ready to work, right? And so clearly, both Dr. Heavenly is ready to work, and clearly Sweet Tea is ready to work. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Shamia Morton also has is it her last name Mwenge? At this point, I want to make sure I'm calling her proper name. Shamia also has a YouTube page as well. So my reasonable assumption would be, let's get this Real Housewives of Atlanta train going. Bravo, where is the trailer? Y'all gave us this mid-season trailer for Beverly Hills, but where is Real Housewives of Atlanta? That's what the people really want. That's what we are waiting for. We are waiting with bated breath to see that. Okay, give it to us. Give it to me now. Inject it into my veins. So with that being said, everybody gets down to the, to oh, here's the other thing that I was saying. Maybe everybody does not need a YouTube page because, again, you got to be willing to work. If you're not willing to put in the work and be consistent, then what's the point? So I would say that those who can and have the personality to pull it off, because you got to have a little something. Like you got to have a little spark about you, a little quirk, a little something wrong, a little something good, a little something juicy, a little something fun. Just basically, if you could be yourself, you got casted on a show, you should have enough personality to be able to pull it off. And I feel like most people do when they let their guard down. That's the other thing. You got to be willing to just be your most authentic self. Whether or not you think you look foolish or not, you just got to be willing to be that, because that's what people really, really relate to. And so I think that that's why you see people really gravitate towards Dr. Heavenly. That's why you see people really gravitated towards Candy. That's why you see people gravitating towards Sweet Tea at this point, because they're getting more of their personalities that we get than we just get on the show. So having said all that, I digressed quite a bit. But I will say this: it was nice to see some progress in those relationships. As the rooms are divided up, though, it's interesting to me that Dr. Simone is really into this teamwork makes the dream work, slogan that they always seem to have something up their sleeves for these trips. And I'm thinking to myself, but I guess the rules don't apply to you, Dr. Simone, because here's the thing: if you're going to be putting everybody with the people that have the most issues, then you should have been paired with Phaedra, because it seems as though you have the most issues with Phaedra, not Dr. Jackie and Sweet Tea, but it seems like you are the one who has the most issues with her, because it almost seems like it takes a whole team, a cavalry, to help you in your efforts to take her on at each and every turn that you have an opportunity to do so. So for me, I just felt like the rules have to apply across the board. If you're going to be putting Dr. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly together and they have to work together, then you yourself should be willing to work with Phaedra. No, that's what I think. If you really want to mix and mingle, but you give yourself the ex NFL, it was the NFL, I think, NFL, NBA, whatever. Baller. Okay. You give yourself the ex baller. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, you're not really trying to resolve any issues for yourself. You're just trying to put other people together to cause some drama. For which Toya, when they all get to like the lunch, is like, just put Sweet Tea, Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Contessa in a room. Because really, at the end of the day, those are the ones that make for better show issues. But if you really wanted to be a mess, you would have put Sweet Tea, Dr. G, and Quad and her man together. But that might have turned out to be a violent mess. So I mean, maybe that probably wasn't the way to go. And the reason I say that is because we already know what's about to happen in these next couple of episodes, which leads me to something else. I have to give it up to while I did have to feel like I needed to call out the producers, for the fact that sometimes I feel like we have to rely more on the YouTube pages to get the information that don't be clear in the episodes. Let me go ahead and give some props to the producers, because Married to Medicine always delivers on giving us a good solid preview. Now, whether or not all of that happens in the next episode, I doubt it. But what I will say is it's enough to keep my appetite wet, okay, for the next few episodes. Because what I love is that they find a way to avoid the to be continued trap that Potomac seems to just continue to fall into, even when there's not really much there to continue in the next episode. So what they do is at the end of the episode, they intersplice a person talking about the upcoming, like what's going on, and then they show us flashes of what actually happens. That is how you do it. That is what you do at the end of an episode when you really want to prime us for the good stuff. Bravo, no pun intended, to Team Married to Medicine production for that. That alone helped raise this episode level from 8 to 9. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into Phaedra and Simone. So after Simone has divvied up everybody into teams for the kayak and waterboarding event, whatever they're doing. Is that waterboard? That's not waterboard. Lord have mercy. I think waterboarding is something that they do when they torture people. I don't know. Anyway, all I know is they got to do some pedaling on the waters, some doggy pedaling or something. I don't know. And so she's divided them up into teams, and obviously we kind of talked about the teams. But she also had some t-shirts made for them. And then she had a special t-shirt made for Phaedra that said something like be itches snitches like these. And so she stands at the head of the table while the group is there, and she's like, Phaedra, we have this t-shirt for you, and it says for snitches like these. Would you care to elaborate on what you mean by snitches like these? Now, in this moment, I have to say, Dr. Simone, this to me was your weakest moment right here. I don't know if this was meant to shame Phaedra. I don't know what you thought this was going to do, but it did not do what you had intended for it to do. It's like when somebody brings a receipt to or something to the reunion or a prop to the reunion and it just falls flat and you're like, well, why did you bring that? And then they barely even show it. That's kind of what this moment gave to me. And in fact, it was Quad who had to do most of the heavy lifting here. And even when she did, Phaedra was unfazed. The thing about it is, if you're going to phase Phaedra, then you probably need to face Phaedra individually. That is the only way you're going to be able to do this, right? But all of y'all tag teaming her, turning into Voltron, it just ain't going to work like that. She's not going to be moved. In order to move somebody like Phaedra, you're going to have to pull her to the side. Like, and I hate to say this, but you're going to have to pull a Candy or a Cynthia. Remember Phaedra and Cynthia had that face off when they sat down one-on-one and Phaedra ended up walking off because she was because she said she was going to pop that girl or something like that. Y'all remember that? That scene, Phaedra and Cynthia, and that scene, that was a good old nasty scene. And if you don't remember, I need to remember what season it was. Go back to it. Watch Cynthia and Phaedra go at it at the reunion when they were all white. That was another good one. So if you want to phase Phaedra, then you're going to need to face her one-on-one, face to face. Because that t-shirt, it did not hit. It did not land for me. It was given small time. It was given snitches like these. Okay. And I hate to say it. Sorry, y'all got to fix this light and things happen. Okay. Things happen and I'm not going to edit it out. No, it's going to stay right there. So anyway, I'm just like, girl, like, just sit down with the woman and tell her that it offended you. But it can't offend you that much because y'all run it. I mean, I've seen so many episodes where people yelling the B word and more at each other that y'all can't be offended because she called y'all B's. Now, what it is y'all feel like Phaedra feels like she's above y'all. That's what it is. Now, the only reason y'all probably feel like that is because maybe, I mean, to a certain degree, I feel like Phaedra kind of was propped up by the cast last season. Like, oh, well, Phaedra's coming. And, I just think that if you, to do this and make it interesting, it would have been better for the audience and for Dr. Simone to have sat down with Phaedra and asked her what her problem was one-on-one. Dr. Simone, I hate to say it, Dr. Simone, you got it. You don't need that type of moment is not you. Your moments are best served when you was walking around Toya confronting her about Toya feeling crazy about you sitting putting your lap on Dr. Eugene. That, okay, is what you're good at. You excel when you yell. Okay, Dr. Simone, listen to me. You excel when you yell. If you could have put yourself in a position with Phaedra where you sat one-on-one face to face, that would have done you so much better than this weak t-shirt moment where Quad has to try to explain or translate what it is that you are offended by, which also didn't land because Phaedra didn't care. Phaedra said exactly what she said, that she said what she said, and she explained to them, this is what I meant when I called you snitches like these, and that's what I still mean. Even after Quad has expressed to them, oh, well, these are a group of educated doctors that go to the White House. Have you been to the White House? And I'm like, Quad, girl, don't you know that the moment Phaedra out, that you next? I'm like, girl, you should, at some point, you need to learn how to This ain't your battle right now, girl. Like, let it be. If somebody wanted to jump in there, it should have either been Dr. Heavenly or Dr. Jackie. But Dr. Heavenly already been. Dr. Heavenly, I'm glad she set that one out, because she's always the one who is having to do the actual work of making something happen. But it also has to be something that's happening that feels real. And a conversation with Dr. Simone and Phaedra one-on-one, that would have felt more real. And I'm just saying that's the problem that sometimes happen with these shows. You're trying to manufacture a moment with this t-shirt, and you don't need to do all that when a conversation would actually be much better. Don't discount the one-on-one conversation, or the one-on-one ponderosa that ends with somebody storming off, or that either ends positively and starts off rocky. Remember, Portia versus Cynthia, where Portia came late and Cynthia had that attitude with her. Remember Candy and Phaedra's that epic face off, Candy and Portia's epic face offs. Like, the one-on-one is where it's at, and y'all need to stop discounting those moments, because though you rob yourself of a moment when you keep everything within the big group, trying to make things seem, trying to make this big scene, and it's like, girl, what? Put that t-shirt away, throw it away. Throw it back into the cesspool of water or whatever y'all at. Throw it in there. But anyway, those are my thoughts about the episode. Of course, we do get a preview for the next week as everybody sets off on their doggy paddles or whatever they're about to do in the water. And next week, it looks like things start to get really juicy and start to unravel. Apollo arrives. This was also in the episode. We find out that I did like this moment. I liked it. I respect that they kept it in there. Is that Dr. Heavenly said that I'm gonna invite Apollo, but I'm gonna tell you that I'm doing it. I respect so much that she did that, and I respect so much that they left it in there. Because even though Phaedra in her confessionals kind of like, I don't really know how I feel about it, she tried to play it cool in the moment with Dr. Heavenly, and it almost seemed like she didn't care. But what we now know about Phaedra is that sometimes when she's in these scenes, she actually is affected, but she's not going to give you that. But I like that they asked her in the moment. And I like that Dr. Heavenly did it, because I felt like that added some. To me, the moment with Apollo coming, we knew it was happening. And the way they set it up was like somebody was setting Phaedra up. But what I love about it is they didn't follow through with that. They showed us what another show might have used as a moment, like the t-shirt moment that fell flat. Okay. So anyway, that's my thought on Married to Medicine. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. I did think it was a great episode, brilliant editing at the end. I am satisfied. I left like I felt full. I felt good after I saw it. But I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the chatterization what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that notification bell button, and also leave us a comment and follow me on the Snapchat. And with that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.